In a small tropical territory with plenty of natural beauty and with an exceptional biodiversity, known by its democracy and its long-lasting tradition of peaceful life, showered by the Pacific and the Caribbean, there is Costa Rica. Well-known people and world events can give proof of its values, education, and passions. Its people are friendly and love peace and hard working, a country with no army and with a growing economy with high levels of health and education. It is not just by chance that we know it as the Switzerland of Central America. In the heart of this country, within the Central Plateau of very productive land, an excellent climate, we find the sugarcane plantations and coffee farms of high export quality. At the end of the Second World War, a group of brave workers, 20 in total, founded the first agricultural industrial cooperative in the country, CoopeVictoria. Located since 1943 in the rich lands of Grecia, gathered members of other places such as San Pedro de Poas, Valverde Vega, Atenas, San Ramon, and even San Carlos, where its influence represents a challenge and a testimonial of permanent effort, hard work in harmony with the nature that provides with social benefits to almost 3,000 members. It brings benefits to a lot of enterprises and to hundreds of inhabitants of the region. This protection is evident at first sight in the local commerce and in the small industry of the area. The bank, tourism, sports, study programs, and the general services interchange with the cooperative and its members, as well as the hundreds of temporary workers in times of harvesting. CoopeVictoria has developed one of the most important sugar complexes and coffee producers of the country. This is one outstanding self-supported enterprise of the country. It captures income through exporting its products and creating new job opportunities. It transfers knowledge and high technology and proudly shows it to the world. Without making differences, the cooperative offers to its members technical assistance, credit, agricultural products, organic fertilizers, rental of machinery, construction materials, fuel, and lubricants, computer courses, medical services, life insurance, housing for its workers, financial support in the case of the loss of a family member, recreational activities, and other events. As a challenge, we have added industrial activities and diversified services, trying to increase the value and productivity of the agricultural areas. At the diversified industrial plant, we process under the brand name CoopeVictoria, heart of palms, chile, jellies, and of course refined sugar, and Monte Camejo coffee for export quality. Conscious of its responsibility with the environment, of its more than 1,000 acres dedicated to growing sugarcane and coffee, we protect the national resources of water sources in the surroundings of Poas volcano, where we find finca lines in which at the experimental level we grow chile, elote, and asparagus. From its members we receive the coffee and sugarcane production, grown in small properties which do not exceed 3 acres. This reflects the real democratic spirit of the cooperative. The uncertainty in the markets, the globalization distortion, the differences in the countries that compete with us, the natural risks of the agricultural production, high costs, the modernization of technology are and have been the variables which make us constantly look for the development of enterprise. Today, as well as yesterday, the effort, dedication, and cooperative mystique represent a constant challenge. To these circumstances, we have added the coldness of the speculation of prices in the last decade. Coffee is a symbol related to the national soul and attached to the strongest family traditions we have inherited. This product identifies us worldwide because it is quality, and also represents CoopeVictoria because it is one of the best in the country. The good climate and the condition of its soil makes the region an ideal area for coffee growing and sugarcane production. From the seeds, the plantations, they receive all the agricultural care they need. We select the best and most appropriate varieties of seeds, and we apply the best cultural practices, forming a routine that we strictly follow. The renovation of the land and the planting process follow an extremely careful process. Through the months, with the organic fertilizers and other products taking care of all the agricultural details to strengthen the production. The control of shadows and the spraying to avoid plagues must be regular also. After 3 years, they become adult, and at 15 the plants will offer their grain, which together with the good land will produce a nice harvest. The blooming is an aesthetic aspect which enhances the coffee plantation. With its harmonic movements, it simulates the expectations of the producer every year. The green color of the plants, the development of the fruit, and the ripeness tell the thousands of pickers and their families that the national party is close. Coffee picking time is about to begin. With the first rays of the sun, the coffee picking time begins. Hundreds of coffee pickers take their baskets and food to prepare for a long journey. The work, even when it is hard, is filled with joy and friendship. During the simple and cold lunch, coffee pickers share time in a friendly environment while the work is done. Between laughter, picaresque looks, and smiles that sometimes invite to romance, and maybe to an everlasting love. This is how the coffee beans fill the baskets of the pickers. Mid-afternoon, just before the sun gets ready to leave, and when the hard job is claiming some rest, needed by every worker. Later, the coffee beans are given to the coffee receivers. Measurement and quality control is a normal and strict activity when receiving the harvest, the final result of the correct handling and maintenance of the coffee plants. It is shown in the uniformity and the reddish color of the coffee beans, which are received by the ton every day. The quality controls at the patio are also very strict. Later, they go through the process of obtaining the pulp and classification of the weight. Then it is deposited in piles for fermenting. Following are the washing steps, pre-drying, and drying up to 12%, in which the cylindrical machines, called guardiolas, operate, or under a natural thermal process under the sun and under close supervision. The dry coffee is stored in huge silos where it is ventilated on a permanent basis. Before exporting and selling, they have to remove the parchment, and then it is classified for the best to be exported. Very important is tasting. In CoopeVictoria, it is done under a strict regulation, according to the international policies for classifying the best varieties for exportation.